Hey guys, we're live on the moon. It's Monday, October 3rd. It's about 20 minutes to 9. And old Bill's doing some experiments. I uh, I took the camera. I took the 90 degree out of the took the 90 degree out of the eyepiece assembly and basically reduced the focal length of the telescope, and I'm putting the camera butt up against the focuser, and what you have is it's an image that's not quite as close as it was before. And I thought it would be interesting that we should see more detail in the in the image, and you can see more detail in some of these images. And I'm going to do a survey like this, and I'm going to try to see. I found that whenever I reduce the exposure like that, it 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 actually looks better probably on the computer screen than what my monitor is showing me. So I'm going to try to compensate for that. What I'm going to do is go down. You can see quite a bit more area in this survey. That's because I reduced the focal length of the telescope by taking the 90 degree out. Now, if I want to show you some of the detail, I'll have to see how it's kind of washed out over there. The only way I can show that to you is drop it down. But you can see more of the moon on one frame than you did yesterday. By the way, the moon is not as colorful tonight as it was yesterday. I think that was a very, very unusual evening for us with the coloration of the moon. I'm not sure why it was so colorful, but it was as colorful as I've ever seen it. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, I've been experimenting with my Barlow. I've been disappointed with the Barlow. I'm pretty much a perfectionist when it comes to video, and I'm just not satisfied with the Barlow as giving us a crisp enough image. So you won't be seeing me use the Barlow very much. I might put it on if I see something I really want to look at close, but otherwise I just kind of think I'm going to shy away from it. And there's our ferret, and you can see, I mean, with the 90 degree in there, it just about filled up the screen. So I'm showing you more of the ferret uh, yesterday than I am today. But this is an experiment, just like I did a private survey of the moon with my Barlow, but I'm not going to show you because I'm just not. There's something about being a little unfocused that it's one thing to be coping with the waviness of the moon, but it's another thing to be, I think, normally out of focus a little bit anyhow with that Barlow. And I mean, I have a pretty expensive Barlow and I can't get a super crisp image. So I think I'm going to just save it for further experimentation, and maybe when a full moon and, like I said before, pristine conditions, and I might give it a shot. Let me turn the exposure up a little bit. See, it's just way too bright. It's amazing. I'll go back and watch my videos, and then smack dab in the middle of that video, I'll see a shadow going across the screen, which is probably a flying saucer, and I didn't even see it when I was making the video. Now this should be pretty interesting when we go up this shadow line with this wider image. We should see more of the moon on one image than we did before. I don't think normally I'm going to record like this because I like to see it as close as I can. Now you got to admit that that is just very, very beautiful. And the other thing, I think that our image is flipped. So it's going to, when I was going up before, now I'm going down, down is going up. That's why you see all these craters. I think that we really are on the bottom of the moon right now, and when I am going up, I'm actually heading north. Lots of things going on in the world, guys. Don't know what to say about it all. Now look at that. That's really interesting. I'm going to turn the exposure up on that. That's better. And let me just pause. That looks to me like a hornet nest crater. See how it looks like it's up in the air? See the base? It's probably just an optical illusion, but that's what it looks like. Mike and I went out today and picked up some feed at the feed store for his goats, and we're anxiously awaiting. We're getting a camera made up. Look at that. I don't know what it is. It looks like a fence line. Maybe there was a big crater there at one time. That's strange. And look at that. That looks like that's sticking way up in the air. Way up in the air. And here is a very clearly defined cut line. We've seen this before. Let me try to bring it back in. My controls are reversed on this. See that line right there? A clearly defined cut line. And let me turn the exposure up again. Looks better. I mean, whatever made that had to be really hard to, I mean, just kind of slice through the mountain range and everything. But what makes it really interesting, if you look close enough, see that crater right there? And it seems like there's a ridge line and that line goes right underneath it, like it might be a pipeline or a tunnel. I mean, I have no idea what it is, but it looks like it goes underneath that, like it's a tunnel, or like it was made before that crater landed. And that kind of reminds me of a cathedral, how it's sticking right straight up in the air. It's like the edge of that is just sticking right up in the air. Very, very unusual, guys. You can see that the moon is not as colorful tonight. I've been out on this moon for 3 hours, by the way, trying to look at the moon in a different light. And I think that this right here and this right here were what yesterday looked to me like some kind of a tube with a light on it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch that video again. Let's see if we can see some landmarks from what we did yesterday. Isn't that beautiful, that mar with kind of ripples and the sea? And see, that's kind of washed out. So let me turn the, and see, when you turn it down, you can see more detail. Let me go back down and look at that. Like I say, when I put that camera right up against it, I see that you can see more detail now. I'll turn it up so you can see it better. And this right here looks like a really interesting mountain range. See, it's got serrations that kind of go left to right. See, you can see them. See the kind of lines, 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 lines. I wonder what that is. Oops. And it looks like something's sticking right out of the crater. I'm experimenting also tonight with a new microphone. I'm trying to improve my sound quality. Okay, and let's go down in a little bit. turn down the exposure just a little bit. Look at that, it's an unusual crater with a you can see some color, but it's just not as defined as it was yesterday. I tell you, the first 20 minutes of yesterday's was spectacular, I have to admit. It really really was. Let me turn the exposure down a little bit again. Just I think the moon's getting brighter. And there's our ferret right there. And you can see he's not quite as big as he was yesterday. And there's that bright crater right there. You can see all of these kind of like a Grand Canyon right next to the ferret. See it? See all the box canyons and things like that. Like a box canyon, you go right in a crater. Let me turn the exposure up again. See, it's just getting hard to see. Okay, well, I'm going to cut this off in just a minute. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. See, there's our skid marks again. Since we have a broader picture here, let's look and see. It, it, it goes all the way. You can see even faint parts of it there. So it's going from there all the way to there. Very interesting. And here's the other thing I wanted to show you. This was that crater that I was looking at yesterday, and I put the Barlow on it, and I filled the whole screen up with the Barlow. I have no idea what's in the middle of that crater, but it sure didn't look like a pile of rocks. And look at this thing right here. That looks like it's up in the air, and there's the defined shadow right next to it. What in the hell is that? I have no idea. And let me see if I can make it a little bit brighter. Well, I do that, but at the expense. We'll leave it like that. It's a good place to finish. Hope you guys are having a good week, and I'm learning as I go. I'm going to try to improve the quality of the video as I go. I don't think the Barlow is the be all to end all lens for the astronomer. I think you lose so much in the detail that I'm just not very satisfied with it, quite frankly. But Mike and I have something up our sleeve, and that's that other camera, and we're going to do some experiments with that probably next week. In the meantime, clear skies, guys.